Welcome to Programming Horizons. In this video, we are going to learn the requests library in Python. If you are a beginner and words like API, GET, request and POST sound scary, then don't worry. By the end of this video, you will learn everything step by step. So let us begin by understanding what is request. Request is a Python library that helps us talk to websites and APIs. Using requests, we can get data from a website, send data to a server, and work with APIs such as weather apps, etc. Just like when you open a website, your browser requests data from a server, Python can do the same thing using request library. Websites and servers don't give data directly. They give data through APIs. An API stands for Application Programming Interface. In simple words, API is a door that allows one program to talk to another program. Right now I am inside PyCharm IDE and here we will look for the requests package. So we will click on Python packages and type here requests. Normally you will find an option to install the required package here only, but in my case requests is already installed as we can see here, so I don't need to reinstall it. Let's directly import it. Import requests, and if you want you can use the alias rq just like I have done here. And now let's print the version of request. So rq dot double underscore version double underscore, and if I run it, then at the bottom you can notice that this is the version of the request package installed on my system. Now let's begin with your first GET request. A GET request is like saying to a server, "Hey server, please give me some data." Now to understand how a GET request works, I will be using a free test API so that you don't need any logins or keys. So we don't need to auto-complete it. So my test API is https JSON placeholder dot typecode.com/post/1. If you click on this URL in Google Chrome, then you will find something like this. So as you can see, it is a dictionary with keys like user ID, ID, title and body, and there is some random data here. Alright, so here we will get the response in a variable called response, and here I will type rq.get, and within brackets we will type URL, and then if you want you can print this response and run the file. So here we get response 200. So this response 200 is a status code, which means our GET request worked perfectly. We are getting the data from the server. Here are a few common status codes that you might encounter while working with the requests library. Now most APIs send data in a JSON format. To read it, we are going to type a variable name called data equal to response.json, and then we can print data. Let's run the code. So as you can see, we have got the same data in the form of a dictionary which we have just seen in Google Chrome. So there is user ID, ID, title and body along with the random data that I just showed you. Since this data is in the form of a dictionary, we can access its individual elements. For example, if you want to display only the title, then go with data square brackets and inside it put the key title and run it. So in the output we have got the value for title here. Okay, in the same way, if you want you can access the ID and run it again. So here we get our ID. As you can see, ID is 1. Alright, so far we have fetched only one post. Now let's request many posts. So this time I will make a slight change to our URL. So instead of a single post, I will get all the posts here, and after that we will get the response equal to rq.get and once again URL, and if you want you can print the response again. So far it's all good. Next we will get the data in the JSON format, and now if we want to check the length of data, we will use the len function here and run the code. So here is our response. Response 200 means our get request worked perfectly once again, and the length of this data is 100. This means we have got a list of dictionaries with 100 entries. Now let's suppose that I want to fetch the title for the top 5 dictionaries inside data. So I will be making use of a for loop for I in data, and then we will mention the length here 0 to 5 because we want only the top 5 dictionaries, and then we can print I and then title. Let's run the code. And here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So for the top 5 dictionaries inside our data, we have got the titles displayed on the screen. So the key point to remember here is that when an API returns a single item, we get a dictionary, while if it returns many items, then we get a list of dictionaries. So far, we used GET request to fetch data from a server. But in real life, applications don't just read data, they also send data. For example, when filling a form or creating an account. For this purpose, we use a POST request. A POST request is like saying to a server, "Hey server, I want to send you some data." Now here, I will be using a free test API to show you how POST works in real life. So let's type the URL of my free test API, JSON placeholder.typecode.com/posts. In the next step, we will create a new post. Let's say that I create my data here in the form of a dictionary, and my dictionary will consist of 3 key value pairs starting with user ID followed by title. Let's say my title is my first post, and then content, and here I pass my own content. Learning requests is easy, and that's it. Now that I have created my post, I am going to send it to the server. So I'll create here a response variable equal to rq.post followed by pass here the URL where you want to send this data, and then mention the JSON parameter to indicate that we are passing this data in a JSON format. After sending my data, I will look for the response. So response.status code, and let's run the code here, and we get a status code 201 indicating that the data is created and passed successfully. Okay, so that means our post request is successful. And now if you want to print the response in a JSON format, then go for response.json and run the file. And this is the dictionary, this is the content that I have just passed or sent to the free test API. Now in real life, it is quite possible that your request might fail. So to catch those errors, it's better to put your code in a try except block. So I will put this block of code inside the try block, and here at the end we will have except requests.exceptions.requestException as E, After that, you can print your own error message, something went wrong, and then display the exception. So this is the best way to handle errors safely. Let's run the code again. And since my data is error free, so I am getting the response status code as 201, and here is my content. And you can see here that within just a few lines of code, we have understood how GET and POST requests work in Python. Here is a quick summary of what we learned today. I hope you have understood how requests library works in Python. If you found this video helpful, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Programming Horizons for more Python tutorials. Thanks for watching and happy coding!